Hey guys, Neil Waterhouse. Received an email from Jacqueline Parsons asking, is it safe to give out your password for eBay and PayPal to a new virtual assistant in the Philippines? Well, the short answer is yes. However, you must be aware of how to protect yourself. First of all, we've been using outsourced overseas labour for over 10 years now, and we most certainly couldn't have built our businesses the way we built them without using outsourced overseas labour. And touch wood, we've never suffered any substantial losses, that have been caused by overseas labour. Likewise, I've also seen tons of other eBay businesses take off when the owners, they let go of the reins a little and leverage their time using low-cost overseas outsourced labour. Never ever before has it been so easy to buy back some time in our life for as little as $1.50 an hour. Now, most of us, myself included, complain there's not enough hours in the day, so from $1.50 per hour, you can buy more time in your life to do the things that you want to do in your life. Now, the reason I'm saying this is I don't want to put you off by any possible risks of outsourcing. Instead, I want you to understand the risks and learn to manage them, and that's what this video is all about. The advantages of using outsourced labour are simply just too huge to ignore. So many times I've seen people build themselves jobs and not businesses. They spend a ton of hours slaving away every week, when if they implemented a virtual assistant or virtual assistants, they could have a business instead of a job. A business which runs by itself and makes money while they're not there. Many people think they need to employ a full-time staff member. However, this is simply not true. A virtual assistant can work for you for 30 minutes a week. They'll just do the work that you give them. Okay, enough about preaching the values of using outsourced overseas labour. Let's now look at the risks and how you can cover yourself. Now, with everything in life, whether it's a hobby, sport, dating, driving or anything, there's always the bad luck story which hits the news, and this story normally always gets the most attention. It's exactly the same with outsourcing. There are always stories. If we paid attention to all the bad luck stories out there, we'd never leave the house. We'd get run over by a bus, hit by lightning, or a zillion other things. This is the worst case story I've ever heard about outsourcing, and I only tell you this so you know how to protect yourself. I'll call this person Janet. Janet recruited a new virtual assistant and gave the passwords to eBay and PayPal. On the next day, Janet suddenly realised she was getting no emails. After going in recovery mode, Janet somehow realised that the virtual assistant had somehow figured out how to log into her email account and change all the settings and the passwords for her email account. Janet didn't give the virtual assistant any details to her email account. Now, to cut a long story short, all Janet's passwords for eBay, PayPal and her email account were exactly the same. The virtual assistant simply logged into her email account using the same passwords as Janet had given for her eBay and PayPal accounts. If Janet's passwords were different at all, this would never have happened. So the moral of this story is always have separate passwords. Now, this virtual assistant, they purchased a few items on eBay, however, they never paid for them, so there was no monetary loss. No doubt PayPal wouldn't let the payments go through from the virtual assistant's computer because it would be on a different IP address. PayPal will not allow funds transfers without an SMS code. That is, whenever you try to transfer money out of PayPal, PayPal will send you an SMS code to your mobile phone. Now, of course, the virtual assistant cannot do anything without the code. This gives huge protection to not just PayPal, but most banks are doing exactly the same now. This protection allows us to give our bank details to our virtual assistants without any fear of them transferring money or purchasing items. Now, please don't let stories like Janet stop you from using overseas, virtual assistants, or VAs as we call them. As VAs, VAs can not just give you a life, but they can massively leverage your business so it makes more money. This way you get a life and you make money at the same time so you can enjoy your life. We love to employ customer service staff in the Philippines. On average, we find most Filipinos, they're very honest, very religious, very hardworking, very loyal, and just generally very nice people. Now, of course, with everything in life, there are also some bad eggs, just like there's some bad eggs in every other country on the planet. Whenever we employ a new virtual assistant, we start off first by giving the tasks that don't require eBay and PayPal passwords. These are the tasks that could be product research, customer service or admin tasks. After a few weeks or when you feel comfortable, you can then give them more access rights. Now, just as a side note, if you're using a third-party listing program like Magento, Shopify, ChannelAdvisor, or any other listing program, you almost never need to give your virtual assistant access to eBay, as they can just access the third-party listing program instead. Now, with eBay, unfortunately, there's no ability to give multiple user rights. In other words, you can only set one user for your eBay account and one password. With many third-party listing programs like Magento, you can add different users and then can assign them different rights. So you can just give them access to which models or which modules that you want to give them access to. Unfortunately, eBay does not give this option. Another side note, with credit cards, we also give out our credit card details to our virtual assistants when required. Now, even if they took off and purchased a ton of items on one of our credit cards, we're at no risk. As the credit card rules, if there's no signature, then we're not liable for the transaction. If ever we see a transaction on the credit card statement that shouldn't be there, we simply just ring up the bank, tell them we've not purchased that item, and most certainly have not signed for that item, and the bank will immediately refund the transaction. When I say immediately, yeah, it might take a week or whatever, but it's, it happens pretty fast. It doesn't happen as fast as they take the money out of your account, of course, because that happens in a nanosecond, because they want the money, so they can hit you with interest if you don't pay your bill on time, whatever. But refunds always take longer. Another note is, whenever we have a new position for an overseas staff member, we ask for referrals from our existing staff to see if they know somebody that they trust that is looking for work. These days we've got husband and wife teams in the Philippines, cousins, aunties, brothers-in-laws, sisters-in-laws, etc. Now, if we can't get a referral, of course, then we'll go and get a brand new person. So, Jacqueline, I hope that answers your question, and well done for moving ahead with outsourcing your labour. If you're like many other people have heard back from, you'll be wishing you got a virtual assistant way sooner than you did. That's all for this week. No matter whether you're watching this on Facebook, on my YouTube channel, on my blog, neilwaterhouse.com, please scroll on down, leave a comment. If you know someone who might find this video useful, please give me a share. Until next week, guys, less more, sell more. This is Neil Waterhouse.